the Football Federation. That concludes our sports news roundup on Biscon TV for this week. Many thanks for watching.
And finally, in entertainment, rapper Odumodu Black Tochukwu Ojukwu has topped the Apple Music Nigeria chart with his latest album, Industry Machine. The project, released in October 5, has quickly gained massive traction nationwide. The 20-track album blends Afrobeat, rap, and drill, featuring collaborations with top stars like Sean Kuti, David Doe, Wizkid, Skepta, Tomzy, and Gigs. Fans have praised it as one of the most ambitious projects yet. And still on Entertainment Roundup, Afrobeat singer Oludipe David, also known as Spyro, says prayer plays a big role in his music career. Speaking in an interview, he revealed that he seeks divine guidance before releasing new songs due to the high cost of promotion in the industry. Speaking in an interview, he revealed that he seeks divine guidance before releasing new songs due to the high cost of promotion in the industry. He explained that promoting a single can cost hundreds of millions of naira. To ease this burden, Spyro has built a network of industry allies who support each other's work to minimize spending. Grammy winner Burna Boy has extended his No Sign of Weakness world tour with new dates in Australia, North America, and Europe. It will make history as the first Nigerian artist to headline Red Rocks Amphitheatre in Colorado. The tour kicks off in October in Australia, then heads to North America in November before concluding in Europe in January 2026. The shows are expected to draw massive global audiences, further solidifying its international dominance. And that's it on the news roundup on Biscon TV. It was compiled and produced by David Asha. I'm Ime Emmanuel. Many thanks for watching.
I welcome you one and all to another program in the series, Citizen Jones Today. What we do is simple. Issues that get thrown up by my country, your country, almost at the speed of thought. We interrogate them, just so you know. Today, headship of the Electoral Commission between perception and attitude. Now, believe it or not, perception is a process of organizing and interpreting stimuli, whereas attitude is a favorable or unfavorable evaluation of an attitude for a people given to moral judgment instead of critically evaluating attitudinal involvement. It is not difficult to appreciate why the electoral umpire is always the fall guy each time the politician loses an election. My history book tells me that between 1964, when the first FEDECO chairman, by the way, it was known as the Federal Electoral Commission, FEDECO, when the first FEDECO chairman was appointed, and today, the INEC came into being under the General Abdusalami Abubakar government in 1998, when a new man at the helm was appointed. We have had 13 heads. And so between Ayo Eswa, the first, and Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, the 12th, no Yoruba-speaking Nigerian had ever headed the commission until now, when President Tinubu appointed Kogi State-born Professor Joash Amupiton, the INEC boss. Of the list, Akwa Ibom-born Professor Okun Uya, who was appointed by the Babangida administration in the heady days of the June 12 polls, which he criminally annulled, did not organize any election. So he was at the helm for only 5 months. That's between June and November 1993, I beg your pardon. Now, a new INEC boss has been announced, and Nigerians are focused on him and never on the politician whose attitudes impact the process negatively or otherwise. So, shall we have a conversation, please? My conversationalist today is a gentleman who has lived through many of these cycles. So let's meet and greet one more time, gentleman Adewale Adeoye. I greet you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Now, Wale, it's only natural to take it from the top. You understand the story?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I think the emergence of the new INEC chairman is constitutional
Okay.
because the tenure of the former INEC chairman expired after spending 10 years.
Yeah.
I think that...
And before anybody flies away with it,
yeah,
he has spent 10 years because he has served 2 terms.
sure, which is the constitutional
Requirement.
required tenure that any INEC chairman could spend. And I think it's also by law, it's the prerogative of the president to appoint the INEC chairman, whose name will be submitted to be cleared by the Federal Executive Council and then later the National Assembly.
Yeah.
So we are on course in terms of constitutional requirements. No constitution of the country has been flawed. But I think if we are looking at the personality of the new person that has been appointed, I'm personally impressed. He is coming from the academic community.
Okay.
He was a member of ASU, Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities.
And sorry. You know, cynics have queried the reasoning behind appointing professors, you know. But even the first chairman of FEDECO, Eyo Eswa, he was a teacher.
Yeah, he was a teacher. You see, the teaching profession is one of the most noble professions in the world.
Yeah.
And it's driven by knowledge, it's driven by ideas. It's not driven by the corporate, what you find in corporate institutions that is driven by profit.
Yeah.
And people in the academic community are known to be independent. Those does not necessarily mean that everyone there is independent. But the academic community is quite independent. And
but I must quickly add that a professor who bungled an election in respect of a public official is serving a jail term does not mean that all professors must be tarred with the same brush.
Sure. So if you do not pick from the academic community, where did you expect the president to pick the election amount from?
Maybe from the political community.
Is it from the media? Is it from the Nigerian Bar Association?
Or
is it from the
party?
Labour Congress? Is it from the APC? Is it from the PDP?
Name it.
So one of the most credible institutions, is the academic community. So I think he did the right thing by picking somebody who is current deputy vice chancellor of the University of Jos, deputy VC administration.
Yeah.
And I've looked at the profile of the new INEC chairman. I think he has a striking record of credibility. Has been in the academic community since 1989. He has been involved in chain of programs that are related to electoral reforms, constitutional making, and his area is corporate law. And I think he has quite distinguished himself with all the books he has written, even about electoral reforms.
Yeah.
So if you are talking about the background, his history, I think that the president has made the right choice. And of course, coming from Kogi State, Ayetoro Bede in the Jumo local government, it is the first time Kogi State will be producing, INEC chairman.
But don't forget to add that the new INEC boss speaks Yoruba because he's of a Yoruba background.
Yeah, in terms of the geopolitical calculation, he's a northerner.
Okay.
And but in terms of ethnic configuration, he's Yoruba.
Yeah, because cynics are trying to let you and I know that presidents have been announcing INEC chairman from the north, whatever that means.
Well, the fact of the matter is that even in the north, there are various blocks in the north. The north is not
a monolithic
area.
Yeah.
The same thing also with the south. So the issue is that you speak somebody from the middle belt in the real sense of it.
Yeah.
And for the first time we're having somebody who ethnically is a Yoruba person, since 1960.
Okay.
that we started having indigenous electoral commission. So that's about 65 years ago. And there's been this argument that, the chief of army staff is from this and that and all that. But ask yourself, the FCC chairman is Yoruba, but since 1999, no Yoruba person has ever been appointed to lead the FCC. And I think since the time of General Akinrinade, no Yoruba person, that's almost about more than close to 40 years ago, no Yoruba person has been the chief of army staff. So you have to look at, and Yoruba is a major ethnic group in this country.
Yeah.
So I don't think what the president is doing is wrong. So I think what is important for us to look at how credible, the person that has been appointed is. And I can say that looking at his records, there are no reports of scandals. There's no reports of ambiguity. There's no ambiguity about his integrity. And I think that is what should be important to us. So I'm happy with the choice of the president, but we should also not forget that the INEC chairman is just one person. For him to succeed, he needs the support of the media, he needs the support of the political class, he needs the support of voters. INEC chairman cannot do everything alone.
And input of every Nigerian.
Every Nigerian, the security forces. So it's a whole lot of factors that contribute to having a transparent election. It's not just about having a credible INEC chairman, But we need to play our roles as Nigerians. If on voting day, what people do is to collect bread and butter and to collect cash, then you are not going to have, a transparent and credible election. And politicians also go with money to bribe voters.
Yeah.
They have to be held.
They buy votes.
They buy votes. And even transparent election starts from the primaries.
In buying votes, they meddle, they throw mud.
Of course.
On the system.
On the system. So, and to have a transparent electoral system and election starts also from the primaries. If within the parties, you cannot guarantee the emergence of credible people through a transparent process, then you cannot talk about having, if you are picking money bags as your candidate just because they have money, then you cannot talk about having a transparent election. Or election, the way people are arrested, what the INEC can do. INEC cannot arrest people that flout electoral rules.
Cannot be
it
everywhere
is the police,
at the same time. Yeah.
the security organizations that are responsible for arresting people. INEC cannot prosecute those that are involved in electoral fraud. It is the police, that should take them to court and prosecute them. And of course, that is why security organizations are very key. They are key to having a transparent election. And also the judiciary. If people are arrested, and then after they have been arrested, and then you allow them to go, even though they have been found wanting, there's nothing INEC can do. So we cannot just keep on throwing, the ball on the table of INEC.
Or for that matter, throw the baby and the bathtub away.
Yeah.
I am waiting to see the first electoral offender who would be brought to the dock.
To book. That has not happened. We have had cases where the Supreme Court or the Court of Appeal will give judgment that certain elections were rigged. But the perpetrators will go back and contest the election again. It happened in Ekiti State. The Court of Appeal at that time was had the terminal jurisdiction issues affecting gubernatorial election.
Yeah.
And, the candidate was declared, Fayemi was declared as the winner of that election, while his opponent was said to have rigged the election. But years after, he came back, to contest the election. So I think this kind of thing should not happen in the country. And there's nothing INEC can do, except there are legal regulations that will be able to control and ensure that people who have been found guilty of committing electoral offenses should not come back again to
otherwise
the mandate of the people, to the ballot people.
The electoral umpire should not be held accountable.
You cannot hold him responsible. You cannot hold responsible for everything. In fact,
but my trouble here, Wale, is the current INEC chairman has hardly settled down on his chair. Nigerians are beginning to fan embers. What we have been used to.
Yeah, I think we should.
Are you surprised?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. But I think when you are when you are the leader of a country, you must have the political will to do things that you believe in. Informed by your conscience, the details of your conscience, and the details of law of the constitution.
Yeah.
If you want to be carried away, a great leader should focus on goals and not on obstacles. If you focus more on obstacles, you start shifting your vision from your goal. So I think the president has done his responsibility, and he should not be distracted by hangers-on, by political profiteers
and jobbers,
who will condemn everything that is done by the president. He has the right to pick who is the INEC chairman. It's now left for us to hold that person accountable to the people. And that's why the media needs to come in, civil society organizations, to ensure that we have a credible election.
When people say, the purists and the do-gooders say that it is not the place of the president to pick and say an INEC chairman.
No,
yeah, they begin to tell me that in their United States or in their United Kingdom, the prime minister or the president does not determine who is head of the electoral body.
Every country has its own subjective and objective realities.
Yes.
The situation in Ghana is not the same thing with the situation in Nigeria.
Not to talk of Benin.
Not to talk of Benin Republic or United Kingdom. And you cannot even compare what happens there with United States that has had a democratic experience for 2 centuries. So there are two different
still
things.
Counting.
We are still, democracy is work in progress in Nigeria. And if we want a situation where maybe you want the National Assembly to pick the INEC chairman, it has to be through amendment of the Constitution. But as it is today, according to the laws of the land, it is the president that has the right to pick the INEC chairman, who will now submit that name to, for clearance. And if you think that it's not qualified, then you could begin to mount campaign and go to the National Assembly and say that it should be disqualified. But I don't think the president has done anything that violates the Constitution of the country.
After all, every Nigerian has that thing we call a private citizen's powers.
Yeah, you can institute a private bill.
Yeah.
If you want amendment in terms of, But you find out that the same people that are complaining, never made this complaint when their parties were in power, when their own political party was in power. So most of these are, criticisms are informed by partisan politics. And I think that we should be, when we are criticizing issues, we should do it objectively.
Okay.
Based on facts, based on some level of responsibility. This kind of Talibanization of any policy of the federal government, I don't think it is right.
Consider this again. After an election, unscrupulous Nigerians will go to the social media and begin to spew out election results to create disaffection within the populace. That cannot be the fault of the INEC chairman.
Sure. And of course, let us also add that, you see, winning an election, it's a whole lot of science and art.
Okay.
If you want the people to be on your side, it's a game of numbers. Those who are in opposition are criticizing the government and all that. Go and find out whether there's any policy of rural mobilization that they are carrying out. Do they have mobilization secretary for mobilization that is going from one rural area to the other, talking to people, wooing them like evangelists, move from one house to the other, so that at the end of the day, when that election comes, in terms of numerical strength, you will be ahead of the ruling party. Most of them are not concerned about that. They are not engaging the people. They are not going to university campuses to hold rallies, to hold lectures, people and to mobilize them. They are not setting up even volunteers that will begin to go from one marketplace to the other. They only sit down on the social media, to criticize the government without even offering an alternative. Politics is serious business. And if you want to defeat the incumbent, the people is your major source of power. You need to go out to have constructive engagement with them so that you begin to have registered members, and then you can look at how many numbers do you have. And on that basis, you can calculate how many votes will come to your party.
I'm saying that I'm raising the issue because the next election, general election in my country, your country, is in 2027.
Yes.
February. When the results are announced, there are people who will shout, the election was rigged. It is the INEC chairman's fault. He has been bought. He's been compromised.
Yeah, the election is not a myth. It's process. It's something that you will see in a practical way. It's not superstition that you go to the mountain top and start fasting for days that you want your candidate to win. You have to do what is right. You have to engage the people. You have to present a superior policy on the economy, on the environment, on security. You have to engage the social formations. In Nigeria, we have so many organizations, ethnic unions, labor unions, artisans organizations, mechanical associations. How many of our leaders are engaging them, inviting them to meetings and telling them that these are your programs in terms of your plan to revive the economy? It's not just enough to criticize, first subsidy removal. You must tell us an alternative plan that you have to make, to remove subsidy and then provide the right, the right solution to the economic problem.
Almost all of them who stood for election as president agree that subsidy would go.
They did. All of them agreed.
But ask them, would the backlash not be similar to what we are having today?
They have not told us what they will have done better. They have not offered any alternative except to just criticize. And I don't think politicians should just criticize for criticism's sake.
Yeah.
Look at what is going on in UK between the conservatives and Labour. You could see Kemi Badenoch almost every day. If I follow her. You see her offering alternatives on every policy. And you could see her coming out with figures. You could see her coming out with data. You could see her going from one housing estate to the other, talking to the poor.
Shows a politician
going on the streets,
working.
talking to people. We don't find this in Nigeria, except for them to call press conferences and then on social media issue press statements. How many times, have they visited? If you look at what is happening in the country, take Kwara State and Kogi State, for instance, have we seen a case where, the opposition figures visit the victims or the IDP camps to go and sympathize with them? Anytime they want to do it, anytime they want to do such things, they're only interested in, media opportunism, photoshops. This person is going here to come and talk to people, and they don't actually have the interest of the people.
Any one of them, and any one of them that does visit an IDP camp and drops money,
it's all about the whole world we hear about it. So it shows that you are going there for politics and for electoral fortunes. Not that you actually have the interest of the people,
Otherwise, Nigerians should scrutinize deeply.
Yeah.
They cannot afford to be superfluous. Look at the thing on the surface.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, it is the head of the Electoral Commission that will fall prey.
Yeah.
I cannot forget former INEC chairman Jega, who openly lambasted what's his name now? Orubebe, you remember?
Orubebe, yeah.
And the man felt very sorry and apologized to the man.
Yeah.
Because before then, Nigerians had said, the election was compromised.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't campaign, if you don't read well for your exams, you cannot keep on blaming the teacher.
Or the examiner.
Because, a lot of things are happening that some of us we are amazed. Let me just give a very quick example. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, former presidential candidate, came to Lagos to sympathize with those whose houses were demolished at Alaba.
Okay.
The people he visited are basically his ethnic groups. But there are people who are Yoruba, there are people who are Calabar, there are people whose homes have been demolished.
Yeah.
You didn't make any attempt to even visit those people to compensate with them.
To whip
up sentiments. And there is a viral video now where the same person demolished houses in Anambra. I saw the video and was even saying that he will not pay compensation. So you can see a lot of opportunism.
After all, he has this very popular phrase, "I no go pay shit."
Yeah, so you can see all this kind of opportunity. If I were him, by visiting Lagos, I would have visited also areas where people's homes, the larger area, in Bagada, where houses were also demolished, belonging to Yoruba.
Or seek to have a one-on-one with government.
With government, yeah, seek one-on-one with government.
All, you were a governor.
Yeah, you were a governor. So, but just going there and then showing it on television and all that shows that you are seeing yourself as from narrow prism of ethnic, ethnic bigotry, that you are representing a particular area. And that is why the outcome of that election showed clearly that he was only strong in his own area. Yeah. And I think it should be thinking about, building on that to make yourself a national leader, to be appreciated by every ethnic group in this country. A pan-Nigerian. That is the only way you can win an election. You cannot just depend on your area alone and then think that the country will accept you as their leader. So these are some of the tactical errors. And you see the ordinary man on the street is watching. He's taking records. So when it's time for election, you already build up a kind of, a data that on that basis you will decide who to vote for. Not necessarily because the person in power is better, but because you have not offered a superior alternative to those in power.
Okay. So let's begin to take this thing home now. The viewer must not forget the talking point is headship of the Electoral Commission, in this case, the INEC chairmanship. It is between perception and attitude of the politician.
Yeah.
How do we take this home?
Absolutely. The INEC chairman cannot just, change things for you if you are not prepared, to do the right thing. Just like if you are
after all, only the lazy man will quarrel with his tools.
Sure. Just like if you are a Christian or a Muslim or a traditionalist, you cannot just sitting down in your home and praying to get work, and then you now blame God for not giving you, work to do. You need to go out. You need to search for job. You need to talk to people. You need to do some level of campaign, some level of legwork, even when you don't have a car.
After all,
if you don't do that,
if I go by the quotation you raised now, the holy book for the Christians, the Bible, talks about faith without works is dead.
It's empty. It's dead.
Yeah.
So the INEC chairman is not going to do your campaign for you. He's not going to do your manifesto for you. He's not going to do the mobilization for you. It is led for you. And I can tell you, in Nigeria, most politicians are not ready for the rigor.
Yeah.
Of actually engaging the people. In fact, they are not interested in engaging the people. They are looking for shortcut to get to power.
And many of them must be warned. Because while you and I know that a lot of them would visit marabouts.
Sure.
And illusionists.
Yeah.
Who will tell them, I see that you are going to be the next governor.
Of course.
You are the
they
next president.
will always tell you what you want to hear. Because that is the only way they can profiteer, from you. And unfortunately, many of them depends on this, ordinary people, It's like people who are worshiping gods that you can put on your shoulder. They carve something and say it's God. Dog that has no ears, that cannot breathe. You put it on your shoulders and then you say it's your God. The God that you pour hot water on, that God cannot even cry. And then you put something in your room, you say this is your God.
And you pour ogogoro on
you pour ogogoro on.
Forget the man will get drunk.
Yeah. So this is the kind of superstition we have in our country. People are so, disillusioned. They don't even have trust in themselves. So it's very unfortunate. And I think that if you continue this way, opposition will find it very difficult. Take it or leave it. The people that are empowered together today, they worked hard for it.
Yeah.
They worked hard for it. They were able to woo the opposition, got people in the opposition to come to their side, moving from one place to the other, mobilizing the people. If you are not doing that, and you just think that automatically you want to win the election, look at what is going on now. Labour Party is losing its members to the ruling party. Both governors, both those in the houses of assembly, both in the Senate, they are all moving to APC. And tell me what magic did you want to perform to now win the next election?
The next thing you hear, everybody is moving to the APC.
Yeah.
We are headed for a one-party state.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
It will be it is the wish. After all, PDP once said that they will rule the country for 60 years. The same people are now saying that.
Was it 60 or 16?
I think 60 years.
They ended up 16.
With 16 years. So even in the US, any party in power wants to ensure that it wins everywhere. Oh, yeah. It is now left for you, the opposition, to make it difficult for the party in power to get, more people from your own side. It's your responsibility. The ruling party has the right to pouch. It is now left for you to resist and define a better strategy that will make it very difficult for the opposition party to take away your members.
So, in summation, it is only right and trite to tell the viewer the problem is not with the INEC chairman or his INEC. It is with the politician.
Yeah, with the politicians and the voters too. Who on voting day, they go and queue up with 1,000 naira and sell their future for porridge, for just a pot of porridge. So if you are collecting money when it's time to vote, then you are selling your future. The politician has no obligation to come back to you to explain how you have spent your money, because you have already taken out of that money. You've taken your own share of the bribe.
As a late 15th American president, is it 16th now, Abraham Lincoln said, the ballot is more powerful than the bullet.
Yeah.
Let every elector in Nigeria know that the problem with his principal is not the electoral umpire, but the fault is in himself
All of
in
us.
the political. Yeah.
It is we that should even make the INEC chairman, whoever he is, to be accountable to the people.
Yeah.
And the only way we can make him accountable is to vote right and vote, driven by credibility, driven by trust, not driven by perks and privileges of the moment.
And again, Wale, the INEC chairman is simply being a football referee.
Sure.
You don't change the goalpost in the middle of the game.
Of course.
And only goals win matches.
That is it.
In politics, only the ballot will win the election.
Absolutely. And if you want to win in any game, in any football game, you need a lot of training.
Yeah,
you need a lot of practice. And you also need to buy, footballers from other,
clubs.
other clubs. That's the game.
Yeah.
So if you don't train very well, if you don't plan very well, if you don't have good strategy, you are going to lose that game. So the same thing with
buying footballers in politics means buying politicians who will
win other politicians from other political parties to join your party. That is what it means. So we must understand the game of politics, and that does not mean that we are saying that we have a perfect electoral system. For instance, in Ghana, there is what they call special voters.
Yeah.
Special voters means people like me and you. They vote before the day of the election. Medical doctors, journalists. These are things we can introduce in our own system. But it's not the INEC chairman that will do that. It is the National Assembly.
Right. We must apply the brakes here. The producer says we must wind up. Thank you, Adewale Adeweye.
Thank you very much.
Dear viewer, we are done. Until the next time, this is yours sincerely, Citizen Jones, saying bye-bye now. Take care.
Is are you your name, and much more. Now,
Biscon TV and the Biscon Show, the new wave of digital influence. From your screen to your world, Biscon TV and the Biscon Show are taking over the digital space like never before. On Instagram, we've smashed past 2 million views with over 25,000 loyal followers and a massive 20,000% surge in reach, connecting vibrant audiences from Lagos to London, Abuja to Atlanta. On Facebook, we've soared to over 5 million views and 100,000 plus followers, uniting a powerful community that celebrates culture telling. And on TikTok, the energy is electric. More than 6 million views and 30,000 followers, engaging daily with our dynamic, captivating and diverse content that speaks to every generation. But that's not all. Our audience is not just large, it's elite. From corporate leaders to top executives, public figures, and high net worth individuals, our platforms attract the class, the taste, and the influence that matter most. When the high and mighty watch, they watch the Biscon Show. Beyond our screens, Biscon TV delivers world-class event coverage from high-profile weddings and corporate galas to cultural festivals and state functions. With crisp visuals, compelling storytelling, and unmatched professionalism, we bring every moment to life with class and distinction. Across YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and beyond, Biscon TV and the Biscon Show are not just growing, we're evolving, inspiring, and setting new standards in premium entertainment. So, don't just watch the wave, ride it. Advertise your brand, showcase your products, and book us for your world-class event coverage. Let our platforms put your story before the right eyes, the movers, the shakers, the elite. Biscon TV and the Biscon Show, where class meets culture and your brand takes the spotlight. Connect, advertise, partner, and grow with us. Biscon TV, beyond the screen. Step into the future of visibility with Biscon TV live streaming on YouTube, where your story, your event, your brand travels farther than the television screen can ever go. With crystal clear visuals, real-time coverage, and instant accessibility, we break the barriers of distance and time, putting your content in the palms of millions around the globe. And here's the power of it all. It's not just a moment. It's a full coverage on YouTube. Your event stays live, stored, and ready for viewers to watch again and again. No missed moments, no lost memories, just evergreen visibility, replayable at any time, anywhere in the world. And we don't just stop at YouTube. Your visibility multiplies as we spread your voice across Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, the very platforms where the world's conversations happen. From reels that trend in seconds, to streams that keep fans glued, to highlights that go viral, your content becomes part of the global digital buzz. With Biscon TV, your event is not confined to a hall or a city. It's open to the world. Your wedding in Lagos can be witnessed in London. Your corporate launch in Abuja can trend in New York. A community celebration in Ogun can light up feeds in Dubai. Biscon TV live streaming. Limitless reach, borderless connection. Your audience doesn't just watch, they engage, they comment, they share, they spread your story further than you imagined. Whether you're celebrating love, launching a product, covering a political milestone, or telling your brand story, with Biscon TV, you're not just being seen, you're being remembered. So, when you think of impact, think more than television. Think of presence. Think of influence. Think of Biscon TV, powering visibility, connecting the world, and keeping you live everywhere. Biscon TV, not just on TV. We're everywhere.
Crown Estate residents, get ready. For the very first time in our history, something big is coming our way. On Saturday, October 18th, 2025, Crown Estate will light up with colors, rhythm, and tradition as we unveil our maiden Crown Estate cultural.
More than just an event, it is a celebration of our heritage, culture, and a chance for us all to unite as one big family.
We cannot do this without you. Each of us will proudly represent our region, the East, the West, the North, and the South. From cultural parades, native dances, fashion displays, and delicious native meals. This carnival belongs to all of us. Please join the WhatsApp group created for your region and in the best and flamboyant way possible.
And let's make this carnival one to remember. For more information to connect with the event coordinators, please call the numbers on the screen. Please support the Crown Estate Cultural Carnival, where culture unites us as a great community.
Get ready for 7 nights of solution, theme, divine help, inspired by the Holy Spirit, according to Psalm 121 verses 1 and 2. There will be salvation, deliverance, intense worship, and undeniable testimonies. Ministering Senior Pastor Clan Church, Pastor Wole Oladion.
Everybody lift up your two hands. By the favor of God, anything affecting your lifting, anything affecting your elevation in life, anything affecting your turnaround, in the name of Jesus, be removed by fire.
Lead Pastor, Open Heavens Church, Dallas, Texas, Pastor Mayawa Oke.
All the people that will help you from today, they will locate you. Hear me very well. Your helpers will not hate you. Amen. You will not hate your helper.
And other anointed men of God. Date 26th October to 1st November 2025. Time 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. daily. As Omole, Lagos, Nigeria. It will also be streamed live on all our social media platforms. Solution Nights 2025. Make plans to attend because divine help is here.
What is worship without you make up?
Professor Joash Ojoamukpiton, SAN, has been appointed as the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. A distinguished law professor and experienced administrator, he is renowned for his discipline, scholarship, and professionalism. His strong background in corporate law and governance prepares him to handle the complex responsibilities that come with overseeing Nigeria's electoral process. As he assumes office, expectations are high that he will reform INEC's operations by strengthening transparency and efficiency. He is expected to improve the electoral system through reliable technological solutions that reduce manipulation, ensuring accountability and public. Also anticipation that he will foster stronger collaboration with political parties, civil society, and security agencies to promote fairness and credible elections. The real test of his leadership will be his ability to deliver fair and accepted by all stakeholders. If he can uphold integrity, build public confidence, and strengthen INEC's institutional independence, his tenure will mark a new era of electoral credibility in Nigeria. Dr. Christopher Kolade, a giant among us, who left a legacy that demands reflection and emulation. Dr. Christopher Kolade was more than just a distinguished diplomat, broadcaster, business leader, and educator. He was an embodiment of what leadership with integrity looks like in a country of constant temptation to cut corners. Born in 1932 in Erioke, Osun State, of missionary parentage, he learned early that character and service matter. His academic formation at Government College Ibadan and Furabe College in Sierra Leone prepared him not only for professional success but for a life of ethical stature. From his early days as education officer, through his time as Director General of the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, Chief Executive and Chairman of Cadbury Nigeria, to his service as High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Dr. Kolade demonstrated that leadership is claimed by action. He never surrendered his values for power.